Happy Tuesday, and welcome to Text Talks. Before we get started, I would like to go over a few expectations that we are expecting from you guys. Number one, respect the speaker, one speaker at a time, and always have eye contact. Number two, minimize distractions. Choose a spot where you can focus and save the chat box for questions or connections to the lesson during the lesson. Number three, get your learn on. Focus, participate, ask questions, and take notes. And number four, Zoom this way. Make sure that your camera is on and that you use your name. Okay, welcome to Text Talks, Act 3, Scene 3 of Divided Loyalties. The materials that you're going to need are a copy of Divided Loyalties, a note catcher, a vocabulary log, a pencil, and a piece of paper. Agenda. On today's agenda, we are going to be looking at our learning targets, reading aloud to determine the gist, and analyzing the character of Robert. Today's learning targets are: number one, I can determine the gist and the meaning of unfamiliar vocabulary in Act 3, Scene 3 of Divided Loyalties. Number two, I can write a first-person point of view narrative of a character using details from the text in Act 3, Scene 3 of Divided Loyalties. We will review some of the things that closed readers do before they actually start reading. Number one, read small chunks of text slowly. Number two, pause while reading to think about the gist and monitor comprehension. Number three, think, do I understand what I'm reading? Number four, go back in the text and reread if needed. Number five, get the gist of what the text is about. Number six, underline or circle unfamiliar words and use strategies to figure out the meaning. And number seven, go back to the text to find answers and to cite evidence. Okay. And now we will reading aloud, Divided Loyalties, Act 3, Scene 3. Scene 3 at the dock. Narrator. It is early morning and the Barton family, except for William, is gathered at the dock in Burlington. They are getting ready to board the ship that will take them to New York. Frantically, Abigail and Ben search for William in the crowd, and their distress is mirrored by the troubled looks of Robert. And Mary. The sadness of the moment weighs on all of them. Robert, come on now, let us move ahead. We must board the ship. We cannot miss it. Abigail, oh, please, Father, just a few more minutes. Ben, yes, we were hoping William would come to see us off. Mary, I think he considers us the enemy now. Enter William. William, no, I don't, Mother. Ben, you look so grown up today. Ben, William, I like your uniform. Robert, so William, you are still committed to the rebel patriot cause, I see. William, yes, and I am still your son. I can help you if you need me to stay. Robert, no, we must leave, but I'm glad you've come. I'm sorry for what I said to you. You will always be my son. Here, take these keys. The house and the store are yours. They have served us well. You will have a business to come back to after the war. Mary, we will send you letters there. I pray you stay safe. Remember, we love you. William, I am a patriot, father, but I shall always love and respect you and Mother. I pray that we will all meet again in happier times. William watches them board and they wave from the deck. Now we're going to go over some vocabulary words that we learned in school. And the first vocabulary word is distress, physical or mental pain or suffering. The second vocabulary word is frantically, emotionally out of control. The third vocabulary word is committed, a promise to be loyal to someone or something. And the fourth vocabulary word is enemy, a person who attacks or tries to harm another. In the text today, Mary, William's mom, thinks that William thinks that he is their enemy now. However, William showed up to the dock and he told her, "No, I don't, Mother. I do not think that you guys are my enemy." So what does the word gist mean? The gist is the main point or essence of what something is mostly about. So what was Act 3, Scene 3 really about? Well, this was the last scene of the text. The Barton family was going to New York. The family did not know if William was going to show up because he was a patriot and he wants to continue his fight for the Patriot Army. So what is the gist of Act 3, Scene 3? Robert and the Barton family, except William, are gathered at the dock in Burlington and getting ready to board the ship that will take them to New York. Today we will be analyzing Robert, and when you are analyzing a character, you want to think about what they are thinking, feeling, and their actions. Thinking, what does the character of Robert think? Feeling, how does the character of Robert feel? Actions, how does the character of Robert behave? What kind of action does Robert make? Speaking, what does the character of Robert say? Some of the ways that Robert was feeling was that he was feeling sad and hurting that William was not there. However, he did not want to miss the ship that was taking them to New York. So he was standing there and he was looking around. He was sad and hurting because he was leaving and he did not see his oldest son. Okay. And while they was at the dock, on page 50, it says, their distress is mirrored by the troubled looks of Robert and Mary. The sadness of the moment weighs on all of them. So Robert was sad and hurting that William was not there, but he was still going to take the ship to New York. Some of the actions of Robert when William arrived was that Robert was happy, apologetic, and relieved that William came to the dock at the end. And on page 51, Robert says, "I'm glad you've come. I'm sorry for what I said to you. You will always be my son. Here, take these keys. The house and the store are yours. They have served us well. You will have a business to come back to after the war." So his action was he apologized to William, and he also gave him the house and the store. So after the war, William could come back and have something of his own. And I think that was very good. Closing and assessment. So we'll be writing a first person narrative today. This will be your last first person narrative that you'll be writing. So what is a first person narrative? Well, a first person narrative focuses on a small moment, has a beginning, middle, and end, explains how you feel, describe people, places, and things in the story, and is written in your point of view using the word I. In today's writing, we are going to be writing as if we are Robert, and I'm going to read to you an example of a first person narrative as if I was Robert. It was with a heavy heart that I arrived at the dock with my family early this morning to board the ship for New York. I was sad to leave our life in Burlington behind, and I was particularly upset to be leaving without my eldest son, William, who has become a patriot soldier. I desperately wanted him to, but I wasn't sure if he would show up to say goodbye. We waited on the dock until the ship was about to leave, but there was no sign of him. I could see from Mary's face how upset she was. I had given up hope and was just telling my family to board when, much to my relief, he appeared. Ben and Abigail's faces lit up to see their older brother, and Mary was both pleased and sad to be able to tell her son that she loves him one last time. I was grateful to have the opportunity to apologize for the terrible things I said last time I saw him. I was also relieved to be able to pass on the keys to the store and the house so that he always has somewhere to return to after the war. I may not agree with his choices, but in some ways, I am proud of my son for doing what he feels is right for him and the cause he believes in. I swallowed down my tears as we waved goodbye. You will always be my son, I told him as we boarded the ship. I pray he makes it through the war and when we see him again one day. So your assignments today are to complete your notes catcher and to write your first person narrative as Robert in Act 3, Scene 3. Remember, you have to imagine that you are Robert. What are you thinking and feeling as you say goodbye to William? Thank you for your time, and I want you guys to have a wonderful and beautiful day.